One of the most important parts of Schedule 1 is the property you operate from, whether it's the motel, Chinese restaurant, bungalow, farm, or even the warehouse. The way you set up your space is the best way to get money fast. But what if I made it into a difficult challenge? One that takes us all the way back to the motel and keeps us there. And what's a challenge without goals? And what's the point of goals without a time limit to keep the pressure on? That's why, in this video, I've created my own difficult challenge for Schedule 1. The goal of this challenge is to progress through all the main game missions within the first in-game week. That includes getting a dealer, making $10,000, unlocking the warehouse that you can buy stuff from, and having the ability to create the Walter White crystal. But I've also added a lot more restraints and rules that prevent me from taking action, but also create a situation where I need to perfectly plan out my days in order to meet these goals by the end of the week, or I'm absolutely cooked. First, Rule 1. I am only allowed to operate out of the motel. This means no space, no expansion, and having to lay out an optimal setup with no room. The next rule is crucial to this run. You may think to yourself, well, why don't I just deal at night constantly and grow constantly at night? Because the game technically doesn't progress to the next day until you go to sleep. Well, in order to add a sense of urgency into the challenge, the second the curfew goes active, I must almost immediately head back to the motel. I will allow myself to do one task before I go to sleep in the motel, such as plant more seeds or package more products for the next day. This rule effectively adds pressure to the challenge. The final rule is more straightforward, no glitching. There are ways to unlock doors when you can't, or make it so you can enter areas before you're technically supposed to, which can give you an upper advantage, so none of those tricks are allowed either. Before we get started, if you want more videos like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I've got big stuff planned this summer with the Switch 2. And with that, we begin the challenge. You may be wondering, which day is the most crucial in this run? And it's actually the very first day. There are multiple steps that need to be done precisely and fast to get an insane head start. In fact, the biggest strategy in this run happens within the first 10 seconds of the game. When you start on day 1, you need to go to a payphone and talk to Uncle Nelson, the GOAT. However, after talking to Uncle Nelson and collecting the money stashes, your RV will explode, tragically. But if you wait for your plants to grow in the RV before leaving, you can actually harvest the product, package it in the packaging station that's in the RV, and then even take all of the equipment with you. This saves an unbelievable amount of time and money. First, you get warehouse level equipment since you have the UV light suspension racks, and you also have some extra storage and already have a packaging station. On top of all that, you have product immediately after leaving the RV. This is huge, because you don't typically get your hands on fresh product until completing the dead drop mission, which comes after buying the motel and setting up your first operation. This allows us to start unlocking potential customers on day 1. So while I'm doing all of the normal day 1 missions, such as going to the motel and purchasing the motel and going to the hardware store to get all the things I need to set up the station, I can sell product, which puts me nearly a day ahead of the normal player, because they won't get it for a while. However, this does not mark the end of importance for day 1. One of the day 1 missions is the dead drop mission, which has you wait a whole 4 minutes for it to spawn in. So, in order to maximize my time spent progressing, getting that timer to start as fast as possible is the utmost priority. After purchasing the hotel and unlocking the office lady as a customer, I immediately toss all of my extra stuff in the storage units. I also make sure to grab the baseball bat to whack vending machines for extra cash. Then I run down to the hardware store where I purchase the water bucket, grow tent, and soil in order to complete the first of many missions. I also purchase extra soil for the suspension racks I got as well. That is actually one of the more crucial parts of this run. Optimizing your purchases at the hardware store is one of the biggest ways to save time, and there are multiple times I could have done it a lot faster, which means you, the viewer watching, could definitely do this a lot quicker than me. Either way, once I finally set up my station, I can order the dead drop from the payphone and Uncle Nelson. This takes 4 minutes to arrive. So, in the meantime, I get rid of the TV and lamp in the motel room for some extra space. On the current patch, I just have to discard them. However, for some extra cash in the future patch, you might be able to pawn them off at the pawn shop, but that's only available in the beta branch as of the recording of this video. I also spend most of the time running around unlocking as many customers as possible. Now, this is what typically could ruin a good day 1 run. Even though the probabilities of unlocking the first area customers with OG Kush is really high, you can still fail. I was okay with losing 1 or 2 customers, but I had over 3 runs completely fail because my luck and timing was horrible. Here's a clip of me after I had 4 customers deny the free sample and I had to end the run after 20 minutes. Restart this run, dude. Are you serious? Did I really just get 4 failed customers with like 89% chances, bro? Oh my god. Oh! Eventually, I had a run where I got every single customer except 1. Keep in mind, I had all these customers unlocked before you would even normally begin growing product, as I was still waiting on the dead drop timer. Once I collected the dead drop, I planted my first bit of product. I saw all my next tasks appear, and I went to sleep. This completed the most important day, the first one. I leveled up twice on the very first night. While a normal playthrough, you wouldn't even have sold any product at this point, or had any new customers. When day 2 started, I immediately harvested my plants. Because of the enhanced equipment I held onto from the RV, I not only had 3 growing stations already, but 2 of them, and they yielded even more product because they were suspension racks with the UV lights. This gave me a surplus of product and saved me hundreds of dollars and lots of time. I went ahead and completed the Keeping It Fresh mission, which had me get some baggies and a trash bag alongside taking out the trash. I also grabbed a trash scooper as well, which could help net me a little bit of extra cash in case I needed it in the future. After completing my 3 deals needed for the mission, I attempted to pickpocket Mr. Peter, which resulted in me having to hide out in my motel because I failed. Peter, I hate you, Peter. More than anything. Then I talked to Uncle Nelson, and from there, my next mission was to unlock potential customers, which I had already done, so that progressed over immediately. Now, our next mission was one of the more annoying ones. Since Schedule 1 promotes the idea you need to be constantly expanding your living space, I've been asked to talk to Mrs. Ming at the Chinese restaurant and purchase the living space above for $800, and this is basically mandatory. Fortunately, because of my constant dealing and whacking of vending machines, I could purchase this immediately. Weirdly enough, the next mission is to literally move your equipment there, which is also mandatory. So I had to move my grow tents, suspension racks, and packaging station up there just to complete it. I also didn't realize that apparently the game code needs you to move all of your pots, so originally I thought I only needed to move the grow tent. And when the mission didn't complete, my heart literally sank and I thought I was gonna have to end the run. I figured it out though, so, you know, don't worry too much. I know you guys were stressing hearing me say that. Then I had to haul it all the way back. I swear this game is preying on my downfall. But if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to subscribe to the channel to see me do more challenge videos like this. Finally, the end of day 2 had arrived. After leveling up twice again, my goal for the next day was to unlock the greatest NPC in the game of Schedule 1, Benji. Everyone loves Benji, but to do that, I need to get a friendly status with one of his connections. So while managing my small living space and making strategic but quick hardware store runs, I kept grinding away. So I kept dealing, kept growing, kept purchasing, kept packaging, and kept getting searched out of nowhere, and kept running around. Rinse and repeat with absolutely zero downtime. And then I had done it. After Ludwig and I became homies, Benji was all mine. I immediately signed this man like he was the #1 pick in the draft and hooked him up with the product. Having Benji by day 3 was extremely nice because one of the upcoming goals was to accumulate 10,000 doubloons. You can actually progress this mission in the background, so having Benji active means this $10,000 bottle was slowly filling whilst I did other tasks. After getting Benji on my side, the next main mission was Mixing Mania. This needed me to purchase a packaging station and mix some weird strains. I actually almost lost a ton of time because I was running to the hardware store with only seconds before the store closed, so I was in a huge rush. But I was successful and I got the mixing station down before planting my seeds and heading to bed. Day 3 was complete, and I was already hoodlum rank by day 4. Day 4 was a bit more slow, but still beneficial. I started the day by mixing ingredients and cooking up some whack strains to complete the Mixing Mania mission. I started growing green crack, and also paid my visits to the 3 NPCs to complete the other mission as well. After those missions were complete, it was time for the largest mission to be completed, Needin' the Green. This mission needed me to get 10,000 doubloons as mentioned earlier. Fortunately, I had already racked up around $4,000 of this progression, so over the course of 2 days, I needed to make 7 grand while operating out of my small motel room, which was getting a little bit cramped with equipment and storage, if I'm gonna be honest. I didn't have a lot of leg room in there. On to day 5. This day I spent dealing a bunch. I was racking up product and needed to maximize profit at every deal. Also, Beth here declined my free sample for like the 4th time in a row. Beth, I was debating doing very horrid things to you with my baseball bat in that moment, but I decided to spare you from your fate. It was also at this point I unlocked the Westville region, which gave me a whole new batch of customers to sell product to. I spent a decent amount of time running around there to catch new customers and sell as much product as I could. You may also notice that I'm hoarding cash and not buying anything, and this is because when I unlock the warehouse, my goal is to have the ability to cook crystal before the week is over. So if I don't have enough money for a chemistry station and lab oven by the end of the week, I failed my challenge. Fortunately, that brings our one and only benefit from confining ourselves in the motel into the light. Most players would be buying the bungalow as soon as possible, but I save a whole $6 grand by not purchasing an upgrade. Later in the day, I had a close call with the police, because apparently they hired the DEA and the FBI to hunt me down. I'll let this bit play out. What the how did they know, bro? How did they know? I was closed, bro. Did they see me go in or something, bro? Benji, help! I'm being chased by the police, Benji. Benji, do something! No! Oh my god, my under arrest thing was about to go away, bro, and I just got seen again, dude. I'm gonna lose a deal with Chloe now. Shoot! Why are they there? Why? I'm actually gonna lose everything! Oh my god. That was terrifying. The heck, man. Fortunately, I wasn't arrested with all my product. But don't worry, I got caught pickpocketing again, and like 5 minutes later I had to hide across the map, which somehow the police knew I was there and almost got me. Day 5 was filled with deals and running from the cops. Hopefully day 6 would be a bit better and there wouldn't be any issues with the police. What's your problem, bro? Yeah, I'm just gonna collect my dead drop in peace, a-hole. Why are you looking at me like that? Huh? Well, after that run, I was fed up. No more getting caught. I spent the rest of day 6 continuing to deal, purchase, harvest, pack, and hook my boy Benji up with some product. Day 7, the final day. I woke up and made one of my final deals just to put me over the edge of $10,000 collected. I had done it. I had unlocked access to the warehouse later that evening and went in. I talked to the 3 different people and approached Oscar, who said I smelled very nice. I got the lab oven, chemistry station, acid, phosphorus, and even a Mark II packaging station. When I got home, I immediately started up a crystal cook, and the challenge was completed. The motel was way too cramped now, so if I wanted to progress, I'd definitely have to move out. But that doesn't matter, since I was finished. I slept until the next day and tried out my own product as I reigned in the glory of my victory. This whole challenge was completed in under an hour and 45 minutes. I challenge you guys to try and do the same, but quicker. If you enjoyed this challenge video and you want to see more videos like it, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel as well. And with that being said, I'm gonna, taste this last bit of product that I definitely didn't mix and rig to explode. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.